solution here, right? So the first question, we have question A there. The question reads, given that y varies directly as the cube root of x. So that statement, we can just interpret it. So y varies directly as the cube root of x, right? You know what a cube root is? That's a cube root. Don't forget 3, because when you forget 3, that's a square root. Okay. Now, we need to introduce the constant of variation, and once we do that, we use equal sign. There we have k representing the constant of variation, and there we have our x, right? Now for this one, we are told that y is equal to 6, right? And x is equal to, where is x? Well, x is given to be 25, right? So this is what we have. Now we can use our formula to calculate the value of k. So 6, y is 6, right? So we are using this formula that we have created. So y, we substitute y with 6, then k is what we are looking for. Then we still have a cube root there of 27, so don't forget a 3 there. Okay, so you know the square root of 27, that's 3, right? So you have 3k, right? Dividing both sides by 3, so you're dividing both sides of the equation by 3, right? And that will give you k is equal to 2, right? So when you divide there, it's giving you 2. So k is equal to 2. So after finding k, that k is equal to 2, and then our formula, the final formula, will involve k, right? So rewriting the formula for the variation, this will be 2x. Y is equal to 2x, right? No, sorry, that's a moment. That's not 2x, but 2 multiplied by the cube root of x, right? That's our formula. Okay, now we can answer question B. Okay, question B, we want to find the value of x when y is equal to 2. So B, want to find the value of x. So x, we don't know. When y, the value of y is equal to 2, right? So again, we are going to use the formula. Remember, the value of y is equal to 2. So we can get our formula. We have 2, right? Cube root of x. That's what we have. So this is our formula, the one we have created. That's a 3 there and not 2. So we are going to have the value of y is 2. We can substitute. And there we have 2, right? And here we have the cube root of x. Okay, so this is what we have. Now dividing both sides by 2, we are going to get 1 is equal to the cube root of x, right? I'm sure you get what has just happened there. Okay, so we want to now cube root both sides. Okay, so we're going to cube both sides of the equation. Now you know that 1 cubed, this is just 1, right? So this is giving you 1, right, is equal to x. All right, so this is how we solve the first question. We can go to the second question now. So the second question reads, it is given that y varies inversely as the square of x. Y varies inversely as the square of x. So the table below shows some values of x and corresponding values of y. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, so let's start with A. Again, we can have our solution here, right? This is our solution. So question A reads, find the value of k, that is the constant of variation. So how do we do that? You need to look for a column box, right, which has both the x and the y value. So the first, if we look at the second one, the second column here, we have 4 as the value of y, but b, which is the value of x, we don't have, right? So we can't use these two boxes, the first one and the second and the third one, to solve for the value of k. So we'll use the first one right here. Okay, this is the one we're going to use. So we have, using that, we have x. So the value of x is going to be taken as 2, right? And the value of y is to be taken as 9. Okay, so that's what we are having. Now remember, we need to formulate. Okay, we have a statement here. We are told y varies inversely, okay, those are keywords, as the square of x. Okay, so we have y varies. Now the variation is inversely, so inversely as the square of x. So square of x, right? So this is what we have, that's x squared. So we can introduce the constants of variation, that is the constant of variation. Remember, this is our a, right? That's our a. So the constant of variation, if we introduce the constant of variation, we're going to have k, right? And there we're going to have x squared. Now for the values x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 9, we can substitute now. So y is equal to 9, right? And we have k there, right? Now what about x? We are told x is 2. Okay, now remember, this is squared. So let me just show you this. So they are going to cross multiply, and you are going to get 9 multiplied by 4. Now when you do that, this will be the value of k, right? So that will be the value of k. And what are you getting? You're going to get k is equal to 36. So that is the value of the constant of variation. So that was our a. Now we need to write the final formula. So we are going to write y is equal to, remember we have found constant, the value of the constant of variation, which is 36, right, over x squared. So this is the formula that we have. Okay, so we're going to use this throughout the questions that follow. That is for question B and C. So we can solve question B right here. So question B want the value of A. So look at A. A is in the third column, right? So A is the value of y, right? A is a value of y, while the value of x is 6, right? Okay, sorry about that. So we have x is equal to 6, right? Can you cut that font, please? Thank you so much. And make sure I switch off your font. So x, the value of x is 6, right? And the value of y is a, which is what we are looking for. So a is just the value of y. So we're going to use our formula, the one that we have created, that is y is equal to 36. Okay. Divide by x squared, right? So that's what we are getting. Now we need to substitute. We are looking for, remember, y is equal to a, so I'm just going to substitute y by a, and then we have 36 there, right? And then x, we are given that x is 6, so we are going to square that because x is squared, right? So what are we getting? So we have 36 divided by 36, because 6 times 6, that's 36. So we have a is equal to 1, right? All right, thank you so much. So we can now solve the last question, that is question C. Okay, so we have our question C there. Now question C, we want to find, okay, question C, we want to find the value of b. So look at b. Again, we are going to use the same interpretation there. Let us solve it from here. So we're going to put C right there. We'll solve it from here. I've run out of space this side. So we now see that b is the value of x, right? So b is just x. You can substitute that, the x by b, and then we have the value of y this time is equal to 4. Okay, so we can use that. Now remember, we are still using the formula that we have created. Again, our formula is 36 is a constant, the value of the constant of variation. We have found that, right? So it's not going to change. And there we have x squared. Now from here we can make x the subject of the formula so that we can solve. So we have x squared, right, is equal to 36 over y, right? Now we can square both sides of the equation, right, so that we can get rid of the square root, and there we have x is equal to, so this simply means we have the square root of 36, right? Again, we have the square root of, we're dividing that by the square root of y, but what is y? Y is 4, right? Okay, so what is the square root of 36? That is 6, right? And then what is the square root of 4? That's 2 again. So this will give us x is equal to 3, right? Yes, that's 3. So x, hence x is equal to 3. Okay. Wow, that's nice. I think we can solve the last question. The last question is right here, this side. The last question is right here. Okay, here we found it. Hope you are able to see. Okay, some of you, that's when you are joining our class. Anyway, you keep the notes. I'll send you this PDF after we are done. So let's have our solution here. And I'll also post this video on YouTube so you can access it. Alright, but next time, make sure you join our Zoom meetings on time. Okay, let us solve now the last question, that is question 6. Again, look at this question. So remember, our first question was direct variation, right? Yes, that was direct variation. The second question was from inverse variations. Now the third one is from mixed variations. While other people will call these different names, but it's just the same. For example, inversely variation, other people will call it indirect variation. It's just one and the same. Okay, so we can solve question A. We have A there. Now let's read the question so that we can interpret it. So it says y varies directly as x, right? So we have directly as x, we have keywords there, y varies directly as x, okay, and inversely as the square of z, and inversely as the square of z. So look at this. What we have is y, right? Y varies directly. Now directly as what? As x. So we just have y is varying directly as x, and inversely as the square of z, and inversely as the square of z. So remember, we have inversely as the square of z. So we have multiplication there. So we are multiplying x by 1 over the square of z, right? So our question now will be, our formula will be, after introducing the constant of variation, so that's going to be x, right? Okay, so we have k, x, then we have over z squared. So this is our formula, but we need to calculate the value of k to have the general formula that we can use. Okay, so we are going to do that. Now to calculate the value of k, we have been given that x is equal to 2, right? Y is equal to 5, and what else? So we've also been given that z is equal to 4. Okay, so applying the formula now, remember this is the formula we are using, so we're going to substitute in this formula. We have y is 5, we have k there, what we are looking for, and then x is 2, right? Then z is 4, but this z is squared. Okay, let's see what we get. So we are getting 5 there, right? Okay, let me just write this properly. Okay, we have 5 is equal to, we have 2k, right? That's 2k over, that's 16, right? So we are getting 16 there. Now here you can just divide. We know that 2 into 16, that will give us 8, right? So we can do that. 2 into 16, this will give us 8. 2 into 1, that's 1, right? So this means we are going to get k is equal to, right? That's k is equal to, you have 5 multiplied by 8, that will be the value of k, which will give us nothing but 40. So we can say hence k is equal to 40. Okay, that's the value of k we have solved. Hence the general formula we are going to use for the rest of the questions will be y is equal to, remember k is 40, so we are going to have 40, right? So we are going to have 40. So we're substituting in the formula, right? That's this one. Y is equal to k is 40, so we have x divided by z squared. So having done that, we can now calculate question B. So we have B there. Okay, so let us just do this. Okay, so we have B now. In B, we want to find the value of y when x is equal to 9. So again, question B, we are asked to calculate the value of y when x is equal to 9, right? X is equal to 9 and z is equal to 3. Okay, that's what we have. So we are using this formula again, right? This is our original formula. You can just get that and apply it. Let me get it so that you see. Right, so we are applying this formula again. So what don't we have? We don't have y, so we have to calculate for y. So we have 40 and x is 9, right? X is 9. And what else do we have there? Okay, so just a moment there. So what else? We have z. Now z has been given to be 3. Okay. All right. So just a moment. So there we can proceed now. Z is 3, right? That's 3 cubed. That's squared, sorry, not cubed. So that's 3 squared. Now look at this. We have 40, right? Multiplied by 9 over 3 squared, that's 9, right? So you can divide 9 there and there 9, right? So your y will be 40. So the value of y is 40. Then we can quickly solve for c. And then remember for c again, we are going to use to apply the same formula here, because this is our general formula where we have found the value of our constant of variation, right? So we're going to use that. All right. Okay. Okay, let me just change this. So we have y. Now let's get the values. Okay. So this time we want to calculate the value of z when y is given to be 2, right? X is given to be 8. That's what we have. Okay. So that's the value of y. And z, that's what we are looking for. So we're just going to use question mark. Okay. You can pause the video and try to finish this question if you want. Okay. So that you can see if you know what we are doing. All right. Okay. All right, we can proceed. So we want to find the value of z, remember? So let us use the formula. This is the formula we're using. So we can substitute y, we have 2, and 40, we have our 40 there. And what is x now? We've been given x, remember, so we just need to substitute. We don't need to write it. X has been given to be 8, and z, that's what we are looking for, and z is squared, right? So look at this. We can make z the subject of the formula, right? And if we do that, we're going to have z is equal to, let me write this properly so that it can move a bit down. So that z squared is equal to we have 40, right? We have 40. We're multiplying 40 by 8. again divide this by 2, right? So again we have z, so we are having z is equal to, so we can divide 2 there, right? We can divide 2 into 8 and that will give us 4. Okay, so we're going to have 40, right? We are going to excuse me. So this is what we are getting. That's 40 multiplied by 4. We are running out of space here. Okay, let's just create some more. Right, so z is equal to, so what are you getting? All right, just a moment. You can be multiplying there